Hypnosis is complex. It has been used for more than 100 years in many different ways. So, how does it work? Well, hypnosis works in a multitude of ways, but let's just start with the simple version. Hypnosis is a suggestible state of mind, or in some theories not a state at all, but a willingness to follow along with the concept. When a person is put into this state, there are a variety of things that can be done, including hypnotherapy, which is a type of therapy meant to relax the mind and stop addictions, or there's the kind of hypnosis that you see often on stage performances. The first kind, hypnotherapy, is typically induced in a similar way to meditation, having you find calmness and relax. Although hypnosis and meditation have similarities, hypnosis tends to be more suggestible. When you meditate, you typically let your thoughts pass by like the wind, but in hypnosis, your thoughts are directed to make you feel or think a certain way about something, such as your addiction. Hypnotherapy can be very helpful when considering dangerous addictions, although not all sessions are successful. The other kind, stage hypnosis, is typically induced by focusing attention on an object or a person. There are many ways of inducing hypnosis, and these two methods we see most commonly are not the only methods. Hypnosis can also be administered through the repetition of words or patterns. Throughout hypnosis's lifetime, it has gone from some sort of magical healing force to something we somewhat understand. The quote-unquote grandfather of hypnosis is known to be Franz Mesmer, who was known for the creation of mesmerization in the 1700s, which he used to cure people from sickness or pain and hysteria. At the time Mesmer was using the method to quote-unquote cure people, a group of 5 scientists began investigating this idea called animal magnetism. They conducted trials to see if Mesmer's supposed life force, as he called it, existed by blindfolding people who were being mesmerized and asking them where the force was coming from. By the end of their investigation, they concluded that mesmerization was never a thing, and there was no life force. Later, the idea of hypnosis was repopularized by a man named James Braid, but you're not here for the history of this. If you were, you'd be watching another wonderful video which goes fully into detail about all of that, and I'll link that in the description. Besides, there are tons of videos discussing the history of hypnosis. So let's get on to my main topic. I want to know if hypnosis is ethical. Consider this. We've just created something with the power to make someone believe they had a specific memory at a specific time, even if they never did. We've created the ultimate weapon. We've created a method for which we can control all of humanity. To me, that's terrifying. And the scarier thing about it is that hypnosis could be the very thing that causes this. There's a video on YouTube by Jack Neal, who is interviewing a man known as Chase Hughes, who is known for his mastery in hypnosis along with manipulation and reading people based on their body language. He also wrote a book on hypnosis. In one statement, Jack Neal asks, "What can you not hypnotize someone to do?" And Chase Hughes responds with, "There is no limit." Early in the video, he also states this.
And most hypnotists will tell you, you can't be made to do something that you normally wouldn't do. You can't be made to do something against your will. That's not true. That is absolutely not true.
Provided that these two statements are true, is hypnosis really ethical? After all, the ability to manipulate someone in such a way hasn't been ethical. Perhaps I should be more specific when I bring up this point, because, of course, there are people who do hypnosis without any intention of harming an individual, and only for a light joke or some sort of humor. Those people are fine. This makes division between what is ethical within hypnosis and what is not. Just like any other concept, there is typically a good side to most things, as well as a bad side. We all know that limitless power can lead to evil, so let's change the tune of this to a happier one. Imagine you're sitting on a bench outside of an old house looking across a cornfield. Okay, well, there's some imagery. I'm sure some of you are seeing one of the scenes from Interstellar with just those few words. And that's almost exactly what hypnosis is. Hypnosis, manipulation, meditation, they're all connected. I've already explained the difference between them, but when you look at them all together, they do have similarities. Meditation is typically the most positive of the three, known to help you out when you're struggling with your own self-esteem. Hypnosis typically comes off as neutral, could be used to make you do horrible things, or it could be used to help you free yourself from a drug addiction. Manipulation is typically negative, known for convincing people to do things against their will or confusing them in such a way that they can no longer understand what they are doing. And yet, positive or negative, these are all connected. So fine. Hypnosis is neither ethical or not ethical. It's simply neutral. Like any power or ability, it depends on who is using it and their intentions. Anyways, there's one last thing I would like to talk about for hypnosis. Covert hypnosis is a type of hypnosis that is meant to be done without the other person knowing in the everyday sense. Much like manipulation, but you are trying to get someone into the suggestible state so they are easier to control or force opinions upon. There is one person I've found who believes that this type of hypnosis is completely ethical, but I would argue differently.
The ethics of hypnosis are really the same as the ethics of everyday life. Why? Because you can influence people without hypnosis. You can ask them to do things, you can force them to do things, you can frighten them to do things, you can encourage them to do things. You can induce them to do things with rewards.
Yes, covert hypnosis is something you'd probably want to learn, and that no, it's not unethical unless you have unethical purposes in mind, which anyone could have with any tool.
As one of these people said, covert hypnosis is ethical, depending on who is using it. Although that's not entirely true. As the first source stated, it is no different from convincing, forcing, scaring someone into doing something. If someone, for example, is forcing you to do something, do you typically view that as a positive thing? Most people would answer no, which makes this very argument for covert hypnosis flawed. Now, to give someone the power to force you to do something without your knowledge of it also seems messed up. When I was first watching these videos, I was agreeing with them until I saw the videos for the other side of the argument.
Individual hypnotherapists tend to say this kind of thing. Well, hypnosis is a natural state of relaxation and concentration with a heightened awareness induced by suggestion. They say things like that. Hypnosis is a natural state of relaxation and concentration with a heightened awareness induced by suggestion.
Everyone has their own beliefs and are entitled to their own opinions, and I'm simply here to share mine. You're welcome to argue with me in the comment section. I'd love to discuss more, and thank you for watching. Have a nice morning, evening, or if you're watching from another universe, well, just be nice. Goodbye.